We begin tonight with a major shift in San Diego's push for new revenue, and it could mean big money for city services. Good evening, I'm Steffi Roche.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. After years of legal challenges, a state appeals court has ruled that Measure C, a hotel tax increase of more than 3% in some areas, did receive enough votes to take effect. The money would fund a convention center expansion, homelessness services, and street repairs.
And while the mayor is calling this a win for San Diego, the legal battle may not be over. CBS 8's Richard Allen is here with more. Hi, Richard.
And Stephanie and Carlo, you may remember that Measure C, a tax hike on San Diego's hotels, received 65.24% of the vote in a special election held back in March of 2020. Now that fell just short of the two-thirds supermajority that voters were told was required for special tax initiatives. But a number of court decisions, including this most recent one by the State Court of Appeals, determined that a simple majority, 50% plus one, is enough to move forward.
It's a lot of resources that will help the city address some big needs.
While those needs include increased funding to combat homelessness and more money for street repairs, the lion's share, about 60%, will be allocated toward expanding the downtown convention center.
A lot of people have been waiting for a long time for the convention center to be expanded so that we can keep Comic-Con here in San Diego, invite other big conventions, which is just more revenue for the city of San Diego. So that's a good thing.
San Diego City Council member Stephen Whitburn says Measure C is anticipated to generate an additional $100 million annually.
The timing could not be better. The city has obviously had some real budget challenges. We need the revenue to fix the streets, to help get people who are homeless into permanent housing, and of course to expand the convention center. That will attract more visitors and bring more revenue into the city.
The city's transient occupancy tax, previously 10.5%, now ranges from 11.75 to 13.75%, depending on a hotel's distance from the convention center. In March, following a previous court ruling, the city started to collect that higher tax, funds that have been set aside.
Now that we have gotten the ruling, the Court of Appeals has actually said it is okay to start spending the money, start implementing this.
Mayor Todd Gloria said this decision clears the way for progress that benefits everyone, our workers, our businesses, and our city's future, adding that the city can immediately start to secure financing for upgrades to the convention center, although current lease agreements prohibit that expansion to get underway until after 2026. But the legal challenges facing Measure C may not be over, despite the appeals court decision that a simple majority, not a two-thirds majority, is enough to move the measure forward. Many opponents of the higher tax point out that when voters cast their ballots, they were under the impression that a supermajority was required to pass.
I understand those who are frustrated, but I think at the end of the day, the state constitution is the law of the land, and that's what the courts have agreed.
And at this point, the plaintiff in this case, California Taxpayers Action Network, can request a rehearing by the state appeals court, or if it chooses, it could petition the state Supreme Court to take on this case.
And is there any indication on what they plan to do?
Well, I was in touch tonight with the attorney for that group. He wasn't available for an interview, but he did confirm that while it's still too early to definitively say what they plan to do, he says he would expect a petition to the state Supreme Court. So that would mean that this legal battle may not be over yet.
Wow.
That aside, this being passed by the appeals court, them approving this, where does Measure C go next?
Well, at this point now, City Council has to vote on this. They have to pass something called an implementation ordinance. That was part of the ballot measure that would require to pass to start allocating these funds. And a vote on that hasn't been set yet, but I was speaking with Councilmember Stephen Whitburn. He anticipates that a vote will come pretty quickly, considering how excited Mayor Todd Gloria is about these funds now potentially coming through after all these years.
Absolutely. It's a big relief for them and much needed. Richard Allen, thanks.
Thank you.